Right, let's talk about something real for a minute. Have you ever noticed how certain women just seem to have a strong effect on men? Like there's just something about them that keeps a guy completely hooked, thinking about them all the time, wanting to be near them, craving their touch, their energy, their presence. It's like some kind of invisible spell has been cast, and no matter what the guy does, he just can't get her out of his mind. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Isn't that just about how she looks? Isn't it because she's super attractive or maybe really skilled in bed? But actually, no. That's not what it is. Not even close. Because here's the truth. Real sexual attraction isn't just about physical appearance. It goes much deeper than that. It's mental, emotional, and even energetic. Think about it for a second. Have you ever met someone who at first glance wasn't even your physical type, but for some reason, something about them pulled you in anyway? Maybe it was the confidence they showed, maybe it was the way they spoke, the way they carried themselves, or how they made you feel seen, like really seen, in a way no one else ever has. That's because true attraction involves your whole body, your whole being. It's not just about what a man sees with his eyes, it's about how he feels when he's around you. If you want a man to be deeply and sexually hooked on you, if you want to be that one woman he can't stop thinking about on a level he doesn't fully understand, you have to connect with something deeper inside him. You have to give him an experience that stays with him long after you're gone. That's what we're diving into today, because making a man feel obsessed with you isn't about chasing him or trying super hard or pretending to be someone else. It's about understanding the powerful but subtle shifts that make a man want you, not just with his body, but with his heart, his mind, and even his energy. So if you're ready to become the woman he can't get out of his head, if you're ready to unlock that next level attraction that goes way beyond just looks or chemistry, let's break this down together. I'm going to share with you 4 key things that can make a man crave you in a way that feels almost uncontrollable. When you understand and use these, he won't just want you, he'll feel like he actually needs you in his life. Let's start with the power of anticipation. Desire grows in space, not in constant contact. Most people don't realize this. They think the more they give, the more they're around. The more attention they offer, the more a man will want them. But the truth is, strong attraction isn't created through being constantly available. It's built through anticipation. It's that exciting feeling of almost getting what you want, but not quite. That tension, that mystery, that little bit of waiting, it creates a special kind of energy. Think back to a time when you were super excited about something. Maybe it was a vacation you planned months ahead, or a message from someone that made your stomach flip. What made it feel so thrilling? It wasn't the moment itself, it was the build-up, the waiting, the daydreaming, the imagining. Then, when it finally happened, it felt even better. That's exactly how attraction works. When it comes to making a man crave you, understanding anticipation is everything. Here's what many women do instead. They meet a guy they really like and they want to show it. So they text him all the time. They always say yes to plans. They make themselves constantly available. They try to move things forward quickly, because they're afraid that if they don't, he'll lose interest. But in doing this, they take away the very thing that builds desire. The more predictable and available you are, the less exciting it becomes for him. This doesn't mean you should play games or act cold just to get his attention. It means you should create natural curiosity and excitement. Don't reveal everything at once. Don't give all your time and energy away immediately. Think of it like watching a great TV show. If the very first episode told you everything that was going to happen in the season, all the twists and surprises, would you still want to keep watching? Probably not. What keeps you watching is not knowing what's next, that curiosity, that sense of being drawn in. That's what you want to create in your relationship. A man is naturally wired to pursue. It's not about playing hard to get, it's about letting things unfold naturally and not rushing the connection. So how do you do this in a real way? One way is through delayed responses. Don't always respond to texts right away. Don't always be the one to initiate every plan. Not because you're playing the game, but because you're genuinely busy with your life. Men are pulled toward women who are clearly living fully. Women who aren't sitting around waiting for a text back, but who are out doing things they love. When a man sees that you have your own life, your own schedule, your own passions, he starts to wonder, what's she doing? Who's she with? What makes her so busy and so alive? That wondering creates interest, which turns into attraction. Another way to spark anticipation is with small but meaningful moments. When you're with him, be fully present. Look into his eyes, laugh with him, touch his arm lightly when you talk, but then step back. Don't drag the moment out until it gets boring. Leave while things still feel exciting. A lot of women think if a man really likes them, he'll want to be around them 24/7. But the truth is, when something is always available, it becomes expected, not desired. The strongest relationships have a rhythm, like music, a balance of closeness and space. Imagine a song that was just one long note. It wouldn't be interesting, right? It's the pauses, the breaks between beats that create the feeling. It's the tension that makes you want to hear more. Relationships work the same way. If you're always there the second he calls, always replying fast, always available, you become predictable, and predictability kills passion. But when there's a little space, a little mystery, he begins to think, what's she thinking about? Does she miss me like I missed her? That's when his desire grows deeper. This doesn't mean you should ignore him or act distant just to create drama. It means you should watch how much access you're giving and take your time. Don't rush into deep connection too fast. Let the connection build naturally, and most of all, trust in your own value. Women who know their worth don't feel the need to overgive. They don't try to convince a man to want them. They let their energy speak for itself. Think about the women who seem magnetic without even trying. They're not chasing anyone. They're not begging for attention. They simply live with confidence and joy, and people are drawn to that energy. That's what you want to be. Because when a man sees that you're happy on your own, that your life is full even without him, that you're choosing him, not needing him, that's when he feels something real. That's when he starts to need you in return. Because nothing is more addictive than a woman who's complete on her own, but still offers something worth chasing. Now, let's touch on another deep layer of attraction, emotional and mental connection. Most people think attraction is just physical, about looks or chemistry, but real, lasting attraction happens on an emotional and intellectual level. Yes, men are visual, but what makes them stay is how they feel around you. A guy can be with the most beautiful woman in the world, but if she doesn't make him feel something deeper, if she doesn't make him think, laugh, grow, or feel seen, he will lose interest. What really makes someone unforgettable isn't their looks, it's the way they make you feel. So if you want to create powerful sexual attraction, you also have to spark his mind and his emotions. Engage him in conversations that matter. Make him feel like you get him. Share thoughts that open up his thinking. Ask questions that make him reflect. Be curious. Be real. You don't have to be a genius or get into serious debates every time. Just be a woman who brings more to the table than her appearance. Men crave connection too. They just don't always say it. When a man feels emotionally safe, mentally stimulated, and physically drawn to you, that's when the addiction begins. So remember, it's not about being perfect or being available all the time. It's about showing up with energy that's real, confident, and full of depth. When you do that, you'll become the woman he can't stop thinking about, the one who lives in his mind, heart, and body long after you've left the room. If you give a man everything he wants on a silver platter, if you agree with everything he says, if you're always predictable and never bring a new perspective, it becomes like fast food. Sure, it might feel good in the moment, but it doesn't leave a strong impression. It's enjoyable, but forgettable. But when you give just enough, when you make him earn the connection, when you leave him curious and wanting more, that's when something shifts. That's when he starts craving you. That's when he begins to feel like you're not just another woman, you're an experience. Emotional connection is just as important as intellectual attraction. Because here's the truth. A man might be fascinated by your mind, but if he doesn't feel emotionally connected to you, the attraction will always hit a limit. Emotional connection is what transforms physical interest into something deeper, more meaningful, more addictive. And what really builds emotional connection? It's how he feels about himself when he's with you. If he feels seen, if he feels safe, if he believes he can open up without fear of judgment, if he senses that you understand parts of him others don't, that's when he starts attaching himself to you emotionally. That's when it stops being about just wanting you and becomes about feeling like he needs you in his life. This is why being a genuinely good listener is such a powerful and underrated skill. Most people listen just so they can talk, but if you listen in a way that makes him feel truly heard, if you catch those little things he says and remember them, if you show that you notice details others ignore, it creates an emotional mark he won't forget. And that's where the magic begins. When he starts to link you with feelings of safety, warmth, and understanding. When he connects being around you with feeling mentally and emotionally alive, that's when it becomes more than physical. That's when the pull becomes real. It's not just about being liked. It's about leaving an impression. A big mistake many make in relationships is trying too hard to be liked instead of focusing on being impactful. They try to be easy, agreeable, and non-confrontational. But real attraction isn't born from agreement. It comes from energy, depth, and being memorable. If a man always knows what you're going to say, if your conversations are always the same, if you never bring contrast or excitement, he won't feel emotionally drawn to you. But when you show him something different, maybe it's humor, a unique point of view, or a way of thinking that surprises him, it keeps him engaged. It sparks his curiosity. He becomes invested in understanding you, because now you're not just someone he enjoys talking to, you're someone who intrigues him. And here's something important to remember. Men don't just get addicted to women. They get hooked on how a woman makes them feel. If you make him feel alive, excited, inspired, if he feels like he's mentally and emotionally stimulated in ways he's not used to, he won't be able to get enough of you. Real addiction doesn't come from things that are easy to get. It comes from something rare, valuable, and deeply fulfilling. When you know how to connect with a man's heart and mind, not just his body, you become the woman he can't stop thinking about. Attraction isn't just about looks. It's about how you make someone feel. One of the most powerful ways to make a man feel something unforgettable is through sensory seduction. It's about leaving a mark that lingers. It's about engaging his senses in a way that makes you impossible to forget. Think about the moments you remember most in life. Maybe it was a certain song that instantly took you back to a special memory. Maybe it was a scent that reminded you of someone you once cared for. Maybe it was a touch that sent shivers through you. Those memories didn't just stick because of what happened. They stuck because of how they felt. That's what you want to create with him. You want to be the woman who stays in his thoughts long after you're gone. The scent he notices in the air and instantly thinks of you. The voice that echoes in his mind out of nowhere. The touch he still feels even when you're not there. Let's start with scent. It might seem like a small thing, but it's actually one of the strongest triggers of memory and emotion. A signature scent can be completely captivating. It's why people remember the perfume their first love wore or how someone smelled when they hugged them. If you have a scent that's soft, warm, and unique to you, not overpowering but noticeable, it creates a subconscious link in his mind. He'll start to associate that scent with you, and every time he smells it, even if it's not on you, it'll bring his thoughts back to you. It's not just perfume, it's how your skin smells, the fragrance in your hair, even how your clothes carry your scent. It's about having a consistent, gentle fragrance that becomes part of who you are, something he notices, something he misses. Now, touch builds intimacy faster than almost anything else. But here's the trick. The most seductive kind of touch isn't the obvious kind. It's the light, teasing touch. It's when your hand lightly brushes his. It's when your fingers stay on his just a second longer when you pass something. It's the soft touch on his arm when you laugh. It's subtle but powerful. These moments might feel small, but they create huge impact. Men don't just want touch. They crave the anticipation of it. If you're constantly in his space, always touching him, it becomes expected. But if you give him small, unexpected moments of closeness, he starts to notice everything. He starts to want more. That's when the desire builds in a way he can't ignore. Then there's your voice. Your voice matters more than most people realize. The way you speak, the tone, the rhythm, the warmth in your voice can make a man feel calm, excited, even enchanted. If you talk too fast or too flat, it doesn't create any feeling. But if you slow down, if you speak with emotion, if your voice carries energy and warmth, it draws him in. He might forget your exact words, but he'll remember how your voice made him feel. Some voices soothe you. Some make your heart skip. That's not random. It's about how the voice carries emotion. When you speak with confidence and warmth, with a playful or calming tone, it becomes something he looks forward to hearing again. Now let's talk about eye contact. It's one of the most powerful tools you have. Eye contact can create a connection that's stronger than words. When you hold his gaze just a little longer than expected, it says something. It says, "I see you. I'm here with you." That kind of focus is rare. In a world full of distractions, a woman who looks directly into a man's eyes with presence and warmth is magnetic. But it's not just about staring. It's about what you say with your eyes. If your gaze is soft, inviting, and full of confidence, it makes him feel safe and curious at the same time. Add a slight smile and you create tension. The kind that keeps him wondering what's on your mind. The kind that makes him want to get closer. And finally, contrast. The most unforgettable women aren't just one thing. They're a mix. They're soft and strong, light-hearted and deep, confident but warm. If you're always the same, there's no contrast, nothing for his mind to grab onto. But when you're the one who can make him laugh and make him pause with a serious gaze, that's when you become unforgettable. Men don't fall for women just because of how they look. They fall because of how a woman makes them feel. how she keeps them guessing, how she brings different parts of herself forward. It's that energy that sticks with them. And here's the beautiful part. None of this is about pretending to be someone you're not. It's not about faking confidence or playing games. It's about leaning into who you already are. It's about becoming aware of the energy you bring, the presence you carry, and how people feel when they're around you. The women who leave the strongest impact aren't always the loudest, the flashiest, or the most traditionally beautiful. They're the ones who make people feel something. They're the ones who create a real experience, one that's hard to forget. When you master this, when you combine anticipation, emotional depth, sensory engagement, and confidence, that's when a man doesn't just want you. That's when he feels like he needs you. That's when he becomes addicted, not to your looks alone, but to the unique way you exist in his world.